Okay, so this is a basic mobility warm-up that you can use for most exercise routines. So what you need to do, start off, we work from the top down to the toes. We're going to start with our head and neck, so we're just going to go up and down. And then we go ear to ear. So this starts just helping off the joints of the neck. Then we're going to go side to side. Then we're going to go into some shoulder rotations. So nice big circles with the shoulders, bringing them up, and breathe in and out as you come in. So breathe in and back, in and back. Nice big shrugs. Just warm and activate the shoulders, and then go in the opposite direction. So try and bring your hands back so you actually activate the muscles in your upper back and your neck. And we're going to bring our hands across our chest, so you can turn your palms up and then down. So this just changes the angle on your shoulder, just warms up. And then we're going to go one arm up, one arm down. So stretching nice and wide, expand that chest, squeeze your shoulder blades back. Okay, and then we're going to go into some wrap rounds. So what we're going to do is rotate from side to side. Now we're looking to rotate from the hips here. So we're rotating from the waist, keeping those hips forwards. Okay, now we're going to go into hip rotation, so it's nice big circles with the hips. Now with this one, if you do it nice and slowly, you can feel the muscles engage in the back of your legs as you go around, and then the front of the legs as you go around. So some nice big circles, just feel those muscles engage, and then we're going to go the opposite direction. We'll go around about half a dozen times each direction. Now we're going to go into a march. So we bring our knees up, push our hips forwards, shoulders back, driving through with the hips on this. So as we come up, we're pushing through and driving through with the hips, just warming up those hip flexors. So you can march with your hands as well, just get a little bit of motion in there. And then from here, feet shoulder width apart, and then you're going to come up out to the sides. So tuck that knee in, bring it round, warming up those hip joints. Okay, and then from there we're going to go into some squats. With these, if you need to go feet shoulder width apart, just turn your toes out, hinge at the waist, push those hips back to the wall. Don't worry about going too deep. When we do proper squats, we want to go into parallel, but just for the warm up, just go down as far as comfortable. And from there, you're going to reach up and stretch high as you can. And then up onto your toes and stretch. So you're stretching out those ankles and those calves as well. Again, 6 reps on each exercise. And then from here, we plant our feet and just rotate from the waist, drop into the squat. Plant our feet, rotating the waist. And get a nice little rhythm going from these ones. Okay, then from there, I'm going to step out into a side lunge stretch. So just go as far as comfortable, you don't need to overstretch on this. You're then going to place your arms out at right angles to each other. So one out to the side, and then one out straight in front. You're then going to rotate into a lunge. It's important to bring this back heel up, and you're just going to turn, have a little stretch and reach, keeping those arms at right angles. So we're going to go to the side, stretch and reach. So you have a little bounce as you stretch into this. Then we're going to go from one side to the other, dropping into that lunge. This is warming up your legs and your torso. A little bit more dynamic now shake off. Just going to do a little bit of work with the knees. So we're going to warm up the knees, stand with your feet under your hips, toes facing forwards, and then imagine that you're squeezing a box that's in between your knees, so you're trying to hold on. If you're ever in a rodeo bull or a horse and you're trying to hold on to it with your knees, that's what you're doing here. So you're just applying pressure in, you should feel it on the inside of your legs, and then relax, and then do the same, pushing to the outside. You'll feel your feet rotate on the butt arches of your feet side to side as you do it. Squeeze in and then squeeze out. Hold it for about 5 or 6 seconds each time. Squeeze in, squeeze out. And then stand up nice and tall, squeeze the backs of your legs and your bum together, stand up as tall as you can, and then relax. We'll do it one more time. Just squeeze the feet, knees in, just squeeze in, squeeze out, squeeze in, squeeze out, and then stand up nice and tall, squeeze and tense all the way down the backs of your legs, stand up as tall as possible and relax. And then from here we're going to circle our knees in. I'm just going to go one direction with this, so we're going to go bring our knees in and then back, so you have a little upwards movement as your knees are coming in and going backwards. So it's moving around and relax. Now we're going to go down for the ankles. So toe onto the ground, you're going to rotate your foot round, okay? Making sure that toe's pointed down. Think like a ballet dancer on this one. Then you're going to go the opposite direction. Again, about half a dozen turns each time. And then just stretch out the top of your foot. So you put your toe on the ground, stretching out the top of the foot. Then we're going to go to the side, rotate round. And we're going to go the opposite direction. And then just stretch the top of that foot out and relax. So that is your basic warm-up to mobilise your joints, get you nice and warm for most exercise situations. If you feel that you need to do a little bit extra, you can do the additional exercises that's on at the end of this video. These are additional exercises that you can do during your warm-up. We've got a fist roll, so what I want you to do is to start with your fist out in front of you, so in this position here, thumbs facing each other. You're then going to lean forwards and roll, bring your hands in, your fists and your hands rotate round and stretch out, and then when you bring them back out, thumbs back together. So you roll and stretch. These warm up your upper back. So you're just rolling and stretching until you're leaning forwards, and then just sort of stand up as your hands go out. So you've got like a grinding rotation effect. A few of these will help loosen off your upper back quite nicely. We've also got downward dog into a dive bomber. So with this one, this is a floor exercise. Start with your feet just slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Place your hands onto the ground, and then you're going to go back onto your heels. So this is a yoga move called downward dog. You're trying to get your head between your shoulder blades, and then from here you're going to lower yourself down and then back in. So each time you get in, try and get those heels flat onto the ground, and then lower yourself down and then back in. Do this about half a dozen times. You can do it a little bit faster if you want, and then you go down into the ground, and then from here you just rotate your hips from side to side, just warm up those hip flexors. Also from there we can go into a rotation. So with a rotation, stand with your feet shoulder width apart, and you can just step and rotate around. So you're making a circle with your leg, keeping your hips facing forwards. The aim is to try and get your leg around as far as you can, keeping this leg nice and straight that you're standing on. So just help warm up the hips. And go to the other side. Make sure you've got your balance, weight onto it, lift the leg up, move it round and then back behind you. times with this will work quite nicely, so you do half a dozen in total. And then we've also got another exercise. This one is from a Tai Chi exercise. It's quite good for warming your back and the backs of your legs up. So I'll show you from the front and then show you from the side. So with this one, what you need to do is stand with your feet shoulder width apart, toes facing forwards, and then just soften those ankles and let your knees relax. So you have a little bend and bounce into it. And then from here, just raise your hands up into the air, around about level with your shoulders or eyes, and then bring them into your chest, and then run your hands down your body. So go down as far as you can, keeping those legs nice and straight. And in this position here, take your hands out in front, sit till you're into a squat, and then roll back up. So from the side, I'll show you again. So with this one, you lift it up, so soften those ankles, lift those hands up, bring them down, rotate, just run your hands down your legs, go down as far as possible with those legs straight as possible, bend your knees,